Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing? Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing? Is this thing on? Is this thing on? We are on. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Let's make sure that we are live and in color. Let's make sure of that. Let's make sure that we are monetized. And we're not going to have slow mode on tonight. Let's put live chat on. Let's do that. And you guys can hear me. I know you can hear me. I love that. I love that so much. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Leah Bobia. Hi, DJ. Sorry I disappeared. Rough week. It's okay. We all need breaks. We all need breaks. I've got quite the rant tonight, and I'm a little bit sad about this rant. I'll wait for people to kind of file in, but I am a bit sad about this. I'm a bit perturbed by this. I definitely see myself in this story that we're going to discuss tonight. Um, so yeah, we're gonna wait a little bit, just file in, but I really am perturbed by tonight's story. Um, Truly, honestly. But we'll get into that. We'll get into it in a little bit. The rant is not long, but I do want to go over some legal jargon with you guys that I did research. And I think it's important. And it kind of made me think that I need to do more research about Ohio law as well. Thank you for the flowers, Leah Bobia. We need a honey bun emoji and a Canadian king emoji for our head mods. We actually do. That's something I'm willing to pay for. That is something I'm willing to pay for because you both are worth it. You both are definitely worth it. 100%. 100%. I need ideas on designs though. Yeah, definitely wait for an audience for your rant. Oh yeah, I'll be waiting. Do you have your tea ready? I don't have my tea ready. I don't have anything to drink. You know, I don't have anything ready. It's okay. You know what? I'm gonna get a ginger beer. I'm going to get. You know what? I deserve the sugar and the calories. I'm gonna get a ginger beer. Give me a moment. Give me a second. Give me a moment. Yes, I do have a fridge upstairs. I do. Who doesn't have a fridge upstairs? I have a fridge upstairs. You need a fridge. Yes, you do. Um, Before we get into rent, are you okay, Leah? What's going on? Or hopefully you're good. Let's tell the girls that we're live. I too. I know that's right. Um, it's super important to understand the local laws in your area because the way they differ from federal laws can be a lot, and sometimes it doesn't matter as they supersede the federal laws, and also from state to state. And we're gonna get into it, Leah. We are gonna get into it because, like I said, tonight's story is particularly sad, and it's one that I think is going to blow up. So I haven't seen that many people talking about it. I saw a couple big YouTube. I saw one big Well, actually, I saw two big YouTubers talking about the story. I have not seen many others talking about it. So I might be on the forefront of a trend. We'll see. Um, but has anyone else heard of this story? Has anyone else heard of the story? I mean, hopefully you saw the thumbnail. And if you haven't heard about it, we're going to talk about it tonight. Hey, Cho, how are you? I've been waiting for you. Congratulations, Drake. Yeah, Drake ain't even here, but congratulations to Drake for his newest baby on the way. That he planned, by the way. Nana isn't doing well. It's been rough. I'm still incredibly grateful to be able to spend some time with her in these last days. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, so are we ready to get into the rant? I feel like I'm ready to get into the rant because I want to, you know, I'm going to discuss it. I have my notes. I have my notes, and we're going to get into it. We're really going to get into it. And I want to have a discussion with you guys afterwards because I think it's something that has a lot of nuance. There's a lot of nuance to this story. And I want everyone to be a little bit sympathetic to all sides. However, I I tell you guys that, but I really am telling myself that. So, you know, try to be fair to the other side. But because of my personal history in Columbus, I am oh, oh my god. That oh my god, y'all, my friend, I got the most terrible news from one of my friends. Oh my god. Oh my god. Uh um thanks to she's been on hospice for like 16 months. Tough broad. They don't make them like that anymore. They don't. And you know what, Leah, no matter how long you guys have been preparing for this, you can't prepare. You never can prepare. You never can prepare. Hey, Luke, just in time. I can't talk. It's a private message, David. Uh, it's a lot. It's nothing to do with me though, but very sad situation for one of my friends. I don't want to talk about it on public though. So let's get into some drama that doesn't have anything to do with us. Okay. Welcome to the Cho Show. As a reminder, today's rant, I'm gonna go over a situation that happened, and I'm not really going to be reading comments. So if you really want me to read one of your comments, super chat me. That will be the best way to interrupt me during my little lecture, during my little rant. Otherwise, just wait until I'm done and I will get to your comments and we'll have a discussion and a conversation afterwards. Shouldn't be too long, but I am going to go over my notes and yeah, that's how that is going to work. Um, so let's get into it. Welcome to the Cho Show. Today we're talking about victims and victimhood. And when I say victimhood, I don't mean perpetual victims who are up against white supremacy or the patriarchy or any of that or anti-Semitism. Like I'm not talking about those types. Homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia. I'm not talking about any of that victimhood. I'm talking about actual victimhood, innocent people, innocent bystanders who have crimes committed against them. And when they use self defense, the system punishes them. Let's before I get into my personal opinions, let's talk about what actually happened, right? So what happened? 24-year-old homeowner Dayton Napton is currently being charged with manslaughter after firing two shots into his garage which was being robbed at 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay. The gang of teens, ranging from, I think, 16 to 21. There's like four of them, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might get that wrong, but there's at least three of them. I know that for a fact. I think there's probably four. They ended up fleeing the garage. Day and Napton continued to fire five more shots as they were running. And then he went inside the house to reload the gun because the motherfucker's gun needed to be reloaded, right? And he went back outside. Now, eventually, one of the boys, 17-year-old, I don't even know his name, was killed. And another one was injured, right? So he got two of them. So the family of, I almost said the victims, but how dare I consider these thugs to be victims? But the family of the people that was hurt by the homeowner, they want him to be charged with murder instead of manslaughter, right? Claiming that this was premeditated. This was premeditated and done with malice. Yes, 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 yes. The family of the dead is claiming that Dayton Napton planned for these fucking inbred, fatherless thugs to come into his garage, steal his shit, only to give him the excuse to shoot them dead. Right? So here we are. Here we are. Right? Here we are. Now, Michigan is currently charging him with manslaughter instead of capital murder. Right? And there are some reasons why. Like I said before, this is a nuanced situation, and I'm going to try to be as fair as possible. I'm going to give you the case against Dayton Napton first, because I think it's pretty obvious. And then I'm going to give you the case for Dayton Napton. And I'm just praying that the jury that eventually comprises this case will see the case for Dayton Napton, and not for against him. But let's go into the case against Dayton Napton because it's pretty obvious. So first of all, I'm sure you all are familiar with the castle doctrine or self-defense. This is a subset of defense law here in America where if you are in your castle, essentially the property that you own, your home, you have a reasonable duty to defend yourself, sometimes with deadly force. So, right off the bat, this happened in a detached garage. And in Michigan, the castle doctrine only applies to people breaking into a space that you are currently inside of, such as your home, your car, your garage. So if he was inside of the garage at the time that this happened, it'd be different. Because again, this is a detached garage. That's a very, very key point. Now, the garage is right up against the house, but technically it is detached, right? You have to go outside of the house to get inside of the garage. Now, how he shot them through a window through the garage. That's how he actually shot them, right? And so that is really the key here. This is a detached garage, and this is why Michigan is now, charging him with manslaughter. Now, I found the actual legal code from Michigan regarding the duty to retreat and castle doctrine laws, which I'm going to read below. Now, there's two statutes, and I think all of it is going to be difficult for Dayton Napton's defense attorneys to prove. I think it might be difficult, all because the criminals were running away. I'll read it. I'm going to read it verbatim. So this is section 780 .972. And this is the section about the use of deadly force by an individual not engaged in a commission of a crime. Here are the conditions. There's two conditions, and under condition one, there's a subset of two things you got to be aware of. So basically, section one says an individual who has not or is not engaged in the commission of a crime at the time that she uses deadly force may use deadly force against another individual anywhere he or she has the legal right to be with no duty to retreat, if either of the following statutes apply. Now, obviously, he doesn't have the duty to retreat his home or his garage. He owns the shit, right? So he doesn't have a duty to. So he's clear there. But there are two conditions that must be met in Michigan for you to be able to use deadly force. The individual has to honestly and reasonably believe that the use of deadly force is necessary to prevent the imminent death or imminent great bodily harm to himself or to another individual. The case that Michigan is making against him is that he did not think that he was in imminent death because the criminals were running away from him. Okay? B, the individual honestly and reasonably believes that the use of deadly force is necessary to prevent the imminent sexual assault of himself or another individual. Obviously, this gang of thugs weren't raping anyone at this present time. Not to say they wouldn't engage in such behavior at another time, but at this specific time, that doesn't apply. So because they're saying that these criminals are running away, he didn't believe he was in imminent death. We'll get back to that. The second condition that has to be met in order to use deadly force. An individual who has not or is not engaged in the commission of a crime at the time he or she uses deadly force may use deadly force against another individual anywhere he or she has the right to be with no duty to retreat if he or she honestly and reasonably believes that the use of that force is necessary to defend himself or another individual from the unlawful use of force by another individual. So again, because it doesn't appear that when he fired, they weren't using force against him or imminently using force against him, they don't believe that that condition was met. Okay? And this all hinges upon the criminals running away and the criminals not fighting back. So, too long didn't read version. The criminals ran away, number one condition. And number two condition, the criminals didn't fight back. They didn't use violence back. So that's why he's facing manslaughter. 24-year-old homeowner Dayton Napton, who was minding his own fucking business when at 1 o'clock in the morning, some fucking hoodlums without present fathers, decided to fuck with him. So what is the case for Dayton Napton? Because that might seem pretty grim. And I agree. It is pretty grim, which is why this case is hurtful to me personally. But for me, point number one, knowing that you have a criminal on your property in the middle of committing a felony, in my opinion, should warrant the fullest extent of force. The fullest extent of force. In my opinion, the onus should not be on the innocent victim. The onus should not be on the victim to use restraint and compassion to people who are violating their humanity. How fucked up is that? That you have been violated, and in the midst of your violation, the onus is now on you to be compassionate, to use restraint against those criminals who have just violated you. Literally just violated you. That is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. If any benefit of the doubt is being given to anyone, it should be to the innocent victim of the case, which last time I checked was Dayton Napton. Now, the other thing this case is going to hinge upon is the fact that the criminals were running away. Now, me, are they running away to retrieve weapons? Are they going to circle back to finish the job? Are they circling back because they're mad and they want to finish the job and finish me off? Because how dare I? How could I? Why would I actually defend myself against them? Are they coming back for me? To me, how can you reasonably predict the behavior of a criminal who has already behaved in an illogical manner? Right from the jump, you cannot reasonably predict a criminal from not harming you because he's already fucking harmed you. He's already harmed you. He's already broken into your home, knowing that we live in the state of Michigan, where people are able to defend themselves with deadly force. People have guns. We live in America. We all know this. This is not California. This is the Midwest, where we actually have some laws. They need work, but we have some laws that allow people to defend themselves in the Midwest. They don't have that on the East Coast and the West Coast, but we have it here in the Midwest and in the South, okay? And so how is it that you are to expect me, the innocent victim? Thank you, Luke, Julian. Thank you so much for the super chat. How are you to expect me, as the innocent victim, to predict the behavior of a criminal that has already violated me, that has already proven to me that they mean me harm? And now I'm supposed to be reasonable? I have greater empathy for the innocent. And that doesn't make me a bad person. That doesn't make me a bad person, not even a little bit, not even close. Not even close. Not even close. I think the test is really obvious here, guys, on whether you believe Dayton Napton should be punished or not. Would you feel worried about him being on the street? Would you feel unsafe living next door to him? Would you feel like your life is in better safety with him behind bars for 15 years? That's the test. I think as a juror, that's the question I would be asking myself. Are our streets safer with Dayton Napton behind bars or not? Do you feel safer with the dead person being dead? I do. I feel a bit safer with him dying. Relative to Dayton Napton, I feel a lot more safer with Dayton Napton's freedom than the four thugs that committed the crime. Would you want to live next door to the four thugs? Or would you rather live next door to Dayton Napton? Who do you feel more comfortable being free? Dayton Napton or the four thugs? So, in conclusion, for those who believe in self defense, specifically our Second Amendment rights, it's important to know the laws. Um, your state's laws are so important because they're all different, right? And the reason why this is the conclusion I have from this story is because had the same exact thing happened in the great state of Florida, this case with Dayton Napton would be an open and shut case. Because in Florida, you have the right to use deadly force to prevent felonies. To prevent, I know that sounds crazy, but if you witness anyone committing a felony, you are allowed to use deadly force against that person. Quite frankly, I think that's a great thing. I think that's a great thing. And so, if again, if if this happened in Florida and not Michigan, Dayton Napton would have had, again, open shut case. These four individuals were committing a felony. Burglary is a felony in Michigan. Um, and he would have had the right to defend the burglar, defend his property and his personhood. No problem at all. Um, Also, as an aside, I found another piece of legal code from Michigan that I thought was really interesting because I also believe that the thugs that were involved, the ones that are still surviving, the survived thugs, criminals that survived this horrible situation, I think they ought to be charged with first degree murder. And there's actually some precedents for such happening across the nation. For example, I'll give you I'll give you an example. Let's say that you have four people that robbed the bank. You shoot at the bank teller, pow pow, bang bang, and then the teller shoots at this person, bang bang, and then you shoot back and you kill the bank teller, right? Now, only one person shot the bank teller, but all four of you bitches are going to jail for first degree murder because someone died as a result of your crime. So, in my opinion, based off of this legal code from Michigan, I believe that the three surviving thugs should be held accountable for the death of their friend and charged with first degree murder. I really do. Honestly, I do. Um, and let me read it. I'm gonna read it off to you guys. Um, because had they never chosen to enter and break into another man's property, the homeowner would have never shot them. And we all can play this whole reasonable doubt, right? I think, listen, down in Texas, if if you break into a motherfucker's home in Texas, you know that bullets are flying. You already know. So again, there was a reasonable expectation that this was a risk of deadly force and bodily harm occurring as a result of their actions to commit the crime. So I believe they should face more severe punishment than manslaughter. 15 years, sure. They may get him. I mean, he may end up serving 10, 12. He may not serve 15, but they may get him for some time. However, these thugs, should they not only they deserve what they got from the guy shooting at them, but they should also have to recover from the bullet wounds in jail for the rest of their lives for first degree murder of their friend. Anyway, I'm getting beside myself. I'm gonna read code 750.316, and this is in regard to first degree murder, incarceration under incarceration order upon conviction, penalty definition. So here's the definitions. And let me try to skip. I don't want to read it all. So, except as provided in Section 25 and 25A of Chapter 11 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, blah, 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 a person who commits any of the following is guilty of first degree murder and shall be punished by imprisonment for life without eligibility for parole. And let's look at B. Murder committed in perpetration of or an attempt to perpetrate arson, criminal sexual conduct, child abuse, controlled substance offense, robbery, carjacking, breaking and entering of a dwelling, home invasion. So this is where it comes from. So I believe that 750.316 section 1B applies. They ought to go to jail for the rest of their lives for first degree murder of their best friend that got shot by the homeowner. Toss them in jail. Thank you, Justin Michael, for the super chat. I really, really appreciate your generosity. So in conclusion, we'll get to have a conversation about this because I really want to talk about. I want to see where you guys are, but no matter how this goes, the fact is that this individual homeowner was a perpetual victim of robberies in his area, and no one helped him. No one helped him. You know, we infantilize young black people. We do. We make excuses for their behaviors. There are explanations for their behaviors, but there are no excuses for their behavior. There's a difference. There's a difference between explanations and excuses. And when innocent people, the actual innocent people, no longer are taking the abuse and the victimization from other people, when they take justice into their own hands, because of the system that has allowed this to happen to them, the system has allowed crime and criminality to flourish in our cities and in our communities. And the cops have their hands tied behind their backs because the justice system lets criminals out. They make excuses for teenagers. They give them a pat on the back. They say, good job, good try, and they let them loose to terrorize their communities further. And then when people actually defend themselves as a result of the system perpetrating this issue of criminality, then they re-victimize the victim by punishing them for defending themselves. And that is the case of Dayton Apton. So we'll see what happens, y'all. We'll see what happens. I'm really perturbed by this because you guys know that I have faced a little bit of issues this year specifically with crime in my area. I live in the city of Columbus, the city, and I faced issues with homeless people trying to assault me, trying to engage in a physical altercation with me. I've had a homeless person break into my car. Like I've had issues with people. I've had little black boys scream obscenities to me and almost run me over with their bikes. And I wish he would have done it. I would have beat the brakes off that little bitch. I would have, like his father should have done years ago. But I say all that to say this: as someone that has faced issues where I feel like I need to defend myself, these types of stories, they terrify me. They actually terrify me. I think about Daniel Penny, who, I know history erases this fact, but Daniel Penny jumped into action to defend a black woman who was in fear of her life on the New York City train station. Daniel Penny, who is known as some Nazi white supremacist, was defending a black woman with a child who was terrified for her life. She was terrified. And that is what sprung Daniel Penny into action. But you can't defend yourself in this country. It's horrible. It's horrible. Um, and it makes me sad, and it actually terrifies me. And what it does, y'all, it makes me have to really dive a bit deeper into the self-defense laws here in Ohio. I know we do have castle doctrine, but now I'm also wondering about the whole detached garage. I have a detached garage, but in my opinion, I disagree vehemently with the Michigan law. But the whole detached garage, the detached garage is still my fucking property. At the end of the day, it's still my castle. How is it that a part of your castle is not a part of the castle doctrine? And now it's making me feel a little bit insecure about, well, what exactly are the fine tooth details of Ohio law, right? And so I got some research to do, and I implore everyone to do your research as well. Because I tell you one thing, you come onto my property, I'm blowing your brains out. I'm so you know, and I'm gonna just say that. So let's get into some comments. Thank you so much, by the way, Justin Michael for the super chat. Thank you so much, Luke, for the super chats. I really, really appreciate it. Both of yours, benevolence knows no bounds, and I'm so happy about that. Thank you so much. That money is going to go towards supporting the channel and keeping this a free space that supports freedom of speech and conversations and dialogue. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. You pay for my internet service. You pay for me to keep here. You pay for me to keep being here, talking to you guys and having these conversations and being confident about what I'm doing and what I'm providing in terms of value. So thank you so much for that. Um, so, um, oh, hey, Merhead Pottery, how are you? I don't know who else just joined recently, during my little, sermon. What a sad case actually helps the victims and almost got railroaded. Stand your ground law should apply in every state. I agree. I agree. I agree. However, see, this is a tough one because I definitely believe in states' rights, and I never want to come off as picky choosy. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to come off as picky choosy because I do think that the laws that I support, I believe maybe they should be universal because I know I'm fucking right, right? But I also understand that there are people who don't agree with my positions, right? You know, um, I see the whole issue of abortion, how that was a federal law. There were some federal protections, and now it's a states' rights issue. And I actually feel so much better about that issue being a states' right issue, right? And you know, I don't know how I feel about this. I think that a lot of these laws, as it relates to criminality, they really should be federal laws, right? But I don't know. I don't know. It gets to be really complicated because which laws are federal, which laws are not, and why. You gotta have some sort of reasoning. Do you know what I mean? Um, but all I do know is that I'm really sad for Day and Napton, and if I had money, I'd support his legal fund. He's a young man, young 24-year-old. Um, life is ruined. His life has been ruined because fucking thugs decided to come into his home and steal from him. That's sad to me. Hey, John Lopez. Hey, dude. I go back and forth too about universal federal laws. I agree that state sovereignty is so important, but also it makes it so confusing for every state to be different and shit. Just unnecessary. Thank you, Zombie, for the gift. Thank you so much, Skull. Skull Zombie. I appreciate that. So, what is everyone's thoughts on this? Do we feel bad for the young black kids that are wounded and dead because of their actions? Because I don't feel bad. I really have no sympathy for criminality. I really, really, really don't. Especially when that criminality directly affects someone else negatively. I have zero sympathy. Zero sympathy. None. Not one. Zero. 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 Um I'll scroll up and see what some of the comments were. Hey Anatoly. That's why I needed to hear about the case law. That matters. Also, why it's incredibly important to understand the laws of where you are. It's true. Clear and present danger. I hate to admit it, but they're right. Legally, morally, it's fucked. Ethically, he clearly isn't wrong, but he similarly did break the law. Yeah, yeah. So the guy protected his property that he paid for, and he is punished. That's exactly what's happening. It's exactly what's happening. I agree 1,000%. Maybe this will end up being a benchmark case and actually change the law for Ohio. Maybe it should. See. I don't know. I don't know. I think the case is stacked against him, and the fact that he's a white man and these are black teens, you already know how that's gonna go, honey. You already know the BLM scammers are gonna be on this shit. You already know, racism, white supremacy is the cause of all of this stuff. They're gonna you know, feather and tar him as a white supremacist, Ku Klux Klan member. I mean, you know how that's going to go. So I think it's going to be a tough case. But I need him to get Daniel Penny's lawyers. I need him to get Daniel Penny's lawyers. Is what I need him to beat the case. I need him to get Kyle Rittenhouse's lawyers. I really do. That's what I want to happen. Daniel Penny's lawyers. Daniel Penny's lawyers. Kyle Rittenhouse lawyers. Kyle Rittenhouse lawyers. Help a brother out. Because we believe in self defense in this house. Um, but I think that there is some case for him. The whole running away and fleeing, I just don't agree with that because these are criminals. And if I could have predicted an individual's behavior, I would have assumed that they wouldn't break into my shit to begin with. Because that makes no sense. Stealing and burglarizing other people, that makes no sense to me. So I'm already bad at predicting their behavior. I'm already bad at it. So what that leads me to believe is I must do everything I can to protect myself because these are illogical animals. These are illogical animals who only want to harm me. Even if they're running away, I have to assume that they want to harm me because they've already harmed me. So I don't know. I don't know. And again, I don't think the onus should be on me, the victim, to use restraint. I just don't. I just don't believe that. Just a sad case, regardless of race, it's about victims. I agree. Hey, fuck around, find out. But see, the problem is we all agree with that, but that's not what the law says. That's the problem. The law doesn't condone fuck around, find out, unless you're in Florida. Make better choices, better outcomes. I agree. I'm I'm hoping I'm hoping that he does like that the jury is persuaded by the situation because I really want people to put themselves in his shoes, right? Leah, we're not giving any warnings. Just ban them for spam. We're just um we're not giving any warnings anymore. Um, thank you. I hate this shit. It's so messed up. We all know what's wrong for him to be in any kind of trouble. I'm sure even the DA and judge is going to be pissed. If he has a jury trial, he might have a chance. He might have a chance. He might have a chance. I hope so because I think that we all need him to have a chance. And that's the thing is that with illegals and black people having the green light to just be criminals and yet they're the victims. We have these two big issues because they're big issues. Let's not act brand new. Let's not act brand new. We have a big issue in the black community with criminality. Our young men, we have a big issue. The stats are the stats. Are the stats are the stats are the stats. We have a big issue. Um, but we have young blacks committing a shit ton of crime. We've got illegals committing crimes. And it seems like our government's okay with it. Our government implores this type of behavior. Our government subsidizes these choices, right? And then when the criminality is unleashed on everybody, what do you do? The police can't do anything. The judges let them out. They don't give them any bail. I mean, it's like you take justice into your own hands. And then what happens? You're punished. You're punished. I think it's deplorable. I think it's evil, quite frankly. I think it's evil. So I'm really hurt by this case, this ongoing case so far. I'm pretty hurt by it because I see myself in this guy. The guy could have been me. Could have been me. Um and then you know what? Let me drag the family of the dead now. Let me drag the family of the dead. Because they're going on here talking about how he was such a good boy, great student, great athlete, never got into any trouble. I mean, just a baby angel. He was a baby angel. Apparently, he's a baby angel. I'm sick of the narratives. I'm sick and tired of the excuses and the covering up and the lack of accountability. Your loved one was literally in a gang. This is gang like behavior. A gang. of 4 people going around stealing shit. It has not been confirmed if these are the same people that has been stealing from this man, but it has been confirmed that he has had issues with people repeatedly burglarizing his home. Now, maybe it was the same group of kids, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But what I can say is if your son, your child is in a group of people breaking into other people's homes and stealing shit, you don't have a good kid. Newsflash, you don't have a good kid. So, um, yeah, they tried to martyr George Floyd after his death too. It's so sickening. It's sickening. It sickens me to my core what they did to George Floyd. And herein is the problem. In the black community, one of the many problems, by the way, one of the many problems we have, by the way. But you mean to tell me that you're exalting a man like George Floyd out of all the black men to put on a pedestal, out of all the black men that you can use as an inspiration to other younger black men and black boys? And this is the person that you want to spray paint on fucking buildings. This is the motherfucker that you want to, make fan art about and share on social media. Well, no wonder the black community's in shambles. No wonder. No wonder. No fucking wonder. Out of all the black men that you can exalt and put on a pedestal as an inspiration to young black boys, George Floyd, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Um, it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting. And this is what they do. This is what they do. Um, we got a great question here. We got we've got a great question here. DJ asks, Cho, can I ask? Had it been 4 to 5 white guys burglarizing a black man and he shot one, would it have gone the same? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Wouldn't have happened. Wouldn't be a case. Wouldn't be a case at all. He wouldn't be charged with manslaughter. He wouldn't even be charged with manslaughter. Let alone this family trying to charge Dayton Napton with capital premeditated murder with malice. It is so fucking ridiculous. The double standards, the racial double standards are so easy to see here, guys. It's so in our criminal law, it's easy to see. We need to start talking about black privilege. Hey, Salad Slaps, how are you and what's going on? Toll Box Life has a question. That's my opinion, DJ. I don't think that there would be a case at all. I think that it would have been obviously, oh my God, you've got. Because listen, I can tell you right now how that case would have been presented in the media. They would have somehow said that the 4 to 5 white guys targeted black people. They went into black neighborhoods because they're white supremacists. They targeted black people because of their racism, and the black man thought he was going to be lynched. That's why he did it. That's why he shot and killed the white man. Thought he was going to be lynched, had visions of the Ku Klux Klan. Now, come on now. We all know. We all know that's how that would have been presented. That's exactly how that would have been presented. Come on. Do anybody remember the black girl cop at school because fight broke out? White shot her for no reason. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember that story. Just checking out the show. Good to see you. With Silent Slaps, I implore you to rewatch this one, this live stream. Once I end the stream, rewatch it because I am talking about the Dayton Napton case that's currently underway. I'm not sure how viral it's going to become. I think it should become viral because it is definitely a case study on knowing your self-defense laws in your state. It's a case that bothers me. It perturbs me greatly, as someone who is sick of the actual innocent and the actual victims continuously being victimized on the front end and the back end of the justice system. It's terrible. White privilege is overrated. I get so much shit because I came from a wealthy family. Well, you don't have white privilege, Norris. You have financial privilege. I couldn't believe that the parents started saying the kid was a baby angel while he was robbing someone. It's ridiculous. It's it's so ridiculous, David. It's disgusting. It's like this whole, and again, like I've talked about the infantilization of black criminals before. Um, all of a sudden we want to show baby pictures and pictures of them when they were 2 years old and pictures of them graduating fucking high school, which I guess is a big deal. In our community, it's a big deal graduating high school. You know, um, we want to show all these, cutesy pictures, but we don't show the pictures of them with guns on social media. We don't show pictures of them, holding up gang signs with stacks of cash and the pants sagging, bitches behind them with their assholes out on the table in front for everybody. We don't show those pictures after they've been shot and killed due to self defense. We don't show those photos. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, quite frankly. Um, any questions? Any more questions about this case? What are our feelings overall? He was a robber, a criminal. Parents these days need to stop babying their children and hold them accountable. I hope the case picks up. I hope it gets more steam. And I hope the same people that supported Kyle Rittenhouse and Daniel Penny, I hope that they will support Dayton Napton. Because it could be you. Thank you, peasant. You love the robe, by the way. It looks so damn comfy. It is damn comfy. Very, very comfortable. Love it so much. Yeah, I really want this case to go viral because I think that that's really the only case, that's the only way that he can maybe receive real justice and serve no time at all. Or maybe like a super duper reduced sentence, but it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I've read the Michigan law, I've read the code. It's going to be an uphill battle, but I do think it's worth defending and I do think it's worth fighting. I really, really do. So, guys, I need you to ask me questions because I kind of want to end the stream early. I'm going to be traveling next week for Thanksgiving. Um, I'm gonna be traveling for Thanksgiving next week, and so I need to get a lot of videos out and ready for next week. I need to have videos for all of next week because I cannot do any editing. I'm gonna be without my PC for a long time. Um, I feel so bad for the guy. It's going to be a real uphill battle. Like I said, we need to contact Daniel Penny's lawyers. We need to contact Kyle Rittenhouse's lawyers and get them to Dayton Napton ASAP. ASAP. I want to look more into this. I have many questions about him. Was he a vet? Was this a bad neighborhood? I don't have those answers at all, actually. I didn't really have enough time. Well, I chose to do this stream quickly. I just learned about this case, I think 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago that I learned about this case, and I really wanted to talk about it tonight. So I quickly did some research on the law, the Michigan law, and so yeah, it's. I challenge you to edit a small short on CapCut on your phone. I can edit shorts on my phone. That's not a problem, but it's editing the really big videos with text and overlays. I can't do the highlights. I can do shorts. I do shorts on my phone sometimes. Had he ever been the victim of robbery before? Yes. Yes, so that has been confirmed. He was repeatedly robbed in this neighborhood. Now, again, I don't want to accuse the criminals of being the ones who perpetrated crimes against them multiple times. I don't know. But what I can say is that I can sympathize with this homeowner who has been repeatedly victimized and violated. I imagine he's gone to the police several times, and the police are like, "Well, what do we do? We can't. We're doing everything we can." So nothing is being done. Nothing's being done. This continues to happen to him. What do? You buy a gun. You buy a gun, right? You defend yourself, and this is the thanks he gets again for the system allowing this criminality to flourish. And now his reaction to the criminality and defending himself, now he must be victimized by the government. They've allowed individuals to victimize him. Now the government takes their turn to victimize him. It's disgusting and it's evil. It's very evil. It's deplorable. I so appreciate you educating us about the case. I'm very invested at this point. I will be following it. So definitely, if something pops up about it again, I will definitely be here to kind of report on it because I just really believe in self defense. I really do. And there is a particular YouTuber that I follow. Let me see if I can go find him right now. I want to shout him out because he's really fucking good at what he does. Um, but his channel is all about self defense. And he may already have like a lawyer. He may have already discussed this case. Attorney Andrew Bronca. Attorney Andrew Bronca Show. The Bronca Show. So he specializes in self defense. Um, Let me see if he's discussed this case. I need him to. Oh, it's Trump, 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 Trump. Oh my God. I think he needs to. Wait, he's more of like, okay, so he's kind of changed his content. Before, he was really into just like talking self defense. And by the way, he still has a lot of those videos up from a year ago when I really started following him. He has a really great video titled Self Defense Laws Explained, the Crucial Five Elements. I think that's something that you should really look into. I'm going to post it right now in the Discord channel for your. Um, so, yeah, I posted it in the Discord channel. But yeah, I'm a big fan of him, and I've learned a lot about self defense laws through him, the attorney. Um, Listen, Leah, listen, honey, I 100% agree. We need to get Leo Bobia, attorney at law, up in Michigan, up in pure Michigan. That's what we need to do. We need to fly Leo Bobia's ass up to Michigan to defend Dayton Napton. Had the fucking cops done anything about his past robberies, we likely wouldn't be here today. It's fucking It's infuriating. It is infuriating. Yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, you made a note. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I will go over my notes tonight, by the way. I'm really backed up in notes. Redder than you. I'm getting ready to end the stream, but I need you to rewatch the stream. It's a really important one in terms of self defense laws, specifically in the state of Michigan, where we had an issue of a young homeowner who shot at a gang, like some gang members who were breaking into his home, breaking into his garage on his property. He shot at them, actually killed one of them, injured another one, and now he's facing up to 15 years for manslaughter. So we discussed that, and I'm really, really hurt by this case. Um, I think it's terrible that the government allows individuals to victimize innocent people, and then when those innocent people defend themselves, they are victimized a second time by the government and our horrible justice system. He shouldn't be charged. I agree. Well, I agree 100%. 100% he shouldn't be charged at all. I agree, Buck. Bun and heels. Me and the bun waltzing into the courtroom like, y'all done got me fucked up, and this man too. That part. I need that. Yes. Power pantsuit. Yes. And a power bun. Absolutely. Clack, clack, swish, swish. Yes. The walk in. The outfits will be everything. The outfits will be everything. Um, guys, I'm gonna end the stream early. Cause I want to get some. I have to take a shower. I have things to do tonight. But I appreciate you all being here for tonight's bonus stream, and I probably will be talking about this story again. Um, be sure to join the Discord channel. Link in the description box. Join the Discord channel. We have lots of fun discussions on there. And I will be live again Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, normal time, 11 p.m. Eastern time zone. Thank you. Shout out to the super chatters. Shout out to the mods. Shout out to um, Justin Michael was here. David Portilla Davila was here. A couple new people. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I will chat with you guys soon. Bye.